Hey guys, this is Carmel Asha, and I am happy to be back recording. I really needed to take some time to myself to just kind of emotionally and mentally detox. If anyone was wondering, where is she? There's so much going on in our country and our world right now, as I'm sure we all know. We're all privy to this information through social media or watching the news. And, it can all be very overwhelming. And the one thing I did know was that I wanted to put out content that was fitting for this time. I didn't really want to put out makeup videos and things like that, which really felt to me, again, I'm just speaking for me, which felt inappropriate at the time that there was so much going on in the media. So I really just wanted to take this time to really reflect so that I knew exactly the type of message that I wanted to put out there. 2020 has been a crazy year, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. There really is something very mysterious and strange about this year. But the funny thing is throughout all of the chaos and all of the changes that we were forced to go through with coronavirus and the civil unrest due to all of the things that we've been seeing on the news, all right? I can recap, but Ahmaud Arbery, just jogging, and basically was chased and pretty much hunted down. Breonna Taylor, asleep in her bed and shot to death because of a no-knock warrant, which really shouldn't be anyway. And then to find out that the person they were looking for was already in custody. All right, and then we move to George Floyd. I can't speak for anyone else, but that video was really traumatic for me to watch. I still haven't watched the whole thing. I still haven't. But what I did see was enough to really have an effect on my spirit. And it was traumatizing. It was traumatizing to watch that. Not just, as a black person, but as a human. It was traumatizing to watch that. A grown man begging just to be shown some humanity, and none was shown to him. And then the cavalier attitude of the cop who placed his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds and hands in his pocket the whole time. It was unbelievable to watch, which I'm sure you all can agree. So, and then what else? Let's just keep recapping. The white lady in the park calling the cops on a black man that was bird watching and simply asked her if she could put a leash on her dog. And what's the first thing that she does is she threatens to call the police. Well, she did. And it's just craziness, right? It's just pure insanity. And then it just continues and continues, one thing after another. Protesters are out in the streets, there's riots, there's looting, and I really hate when the focus goes on to the looting. Unfortunately, when uprisings like this happen, there's going to be looting. There's going to be looting. There's really no way around that. And we're not the only community who has rioted in history, But nonetheless, when black people loot, it's a big issue. It's like it's getting so out of hand that it's like you start to lose track of all the names of the people who have been in similar incidents. It's one after one. Like, I literally have a notebook here that I'm just adding names to, because me personally, I just want to be fully aware of who this is happening to, and just basically to just know what happened. Javier Ambler. He was pulled over in a police traffic stop for failing to dim his high beams in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. This man cried out that he had congestive heart failure, and they still continued to tase him until he died. Maurice Gorton, I believe that's also another traffic stop. They were alleging that he was speeding. Rayshard Brooks is another example of excessive force and police brutality. You know, the man was sleeping in his car. And I really, really wish that the Wendy's employees or the manager, whoever it was that decided to call the cops, would have made a different choice. You don't have to call the cops on a man that's sleeping in the car, and that's the problem. We call the cops for literally everything. It's like we have made the police the begin all and end all of problem solving. And some things we can actually solve for ourselves. In that situation, I really do believe that it really wasn't even necessary to call the cops, but nonetheless, they were called. We all saw it on camera. It started off pretty, peacefully. There was no beef, there was no issues until they decided to try to handcuff him, and hey, he wasn't having it. We can't really say what was on his mind. We weren't there. But the one thing that I do say, and right now I'm talking to black people right now, okay? One, I really do feel like we need to be careful about dragging a dead man through the mud, okay? And what I mean by that is, bringing up what you feel he shoulda, coulda, woulda did in that moment. Because at the end of the day, none of us really know what we're going to do in a situation until we're in a situation. And then also, too, we already know that he had been drinking that night. And we already know that when liquor is in your system, everyone behaves differently and reacts differently to different things. That's right off the top. We know that. But what I don't like and what I can't stand is when we do victim blaming. And as black people, we really, this is not the time to do that. This is really not the time to do that. I've had a couple of debates with people about the Rayshard Brooks shooting, and I get what people are saying. Oh well, why wouldn't he just comply? Why did he resist being arrested? Why did he run? There's all of these whys. But as the attorney who's representing his family said, and I had to agree with him, he said, well, George Floyd complied and he's dead. So, to be honest with you, is it possible that he could still be alive if he complied? Maybe. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I feel we all should be in agreement on is that he didn't deserve to be shot in the back 3 times, and especially when he was running away. All right. In the state of Georgia, a taser is not considered to be a deadly weapon. So they can't even say that they were in fear of their life. And the second officer on the scene still had their taser. So he could have easily just tased Rayshard instead of shooting him. Or, okay, you pull out your gun, which again was unnecessary. Whatever happened to shooting people in the leg if you just want to slow them down? But to shoot them in the back, it just doesn't make any sense. So all I'm saying, black people, and again, I'm speaking to black people right now, let's not do that right now. All right, and then there's also this other story that's new in the news now about 2 black men who were hung from a tree in California. Robert Fuller, age 24 in Palmdale, and Malcolm Harsh, age 38 in Victorville. And then they want us to believe that it was suicide. I think it's pretty clear that no one believes that was a suicide. I've never heard of someone hanging themselves from a tree. In their home, yes, but not from a tree. I just want to end it with this. I feel like all of us really need to use our platform, regardless of what that is. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, Dave Chappelle, I felt, summed it up pretty well when he said, who cares about celebrities right now? He was like, nobody really cares about what celebrities have to say. Now, I can say it's cool when you hear a celebrity come out and have something to say about social injustice or about police brutality or racial inequality, discriminate, you know, whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, I feel like we all have a stake in the game. We all have a stake in this. In particular, just normal folks. Because at the end of the day, these things are more likely to happen in our communities than it is to the rich, the famous, and the wealthy. So regardless of what your platform is, what your title is, where you work, we all have some sort of a platform. If you have a social media page, hey, that's your platform. That's your platform. And I always feel like platforms aren't given, they're taken. It's simply someone choosing to decide to say something, to speak up, to not be quiet. And that's what I've chosen to do. And I feel like I just wanted to encourage other people, whoever you have influence over in your life, whether it's your family, your kids, your students, your followers, your subscribers, whatever it may be, we all have some type of influence and we should use our voice. We all have the ability to speak truth to power here, all of us. Like I said, we shouldn't just rely on celebrity, but there are more of us. What we represent the 98%, right? Just the normal working class folks. So we all need to have just as much of a stake in the argument as everyone else, if not more. Like I said, if you're not out there on the streets protesting, and if you don't feel comfortable you know, putting yourself in this type of a platform where you want to speak to your audience directly, you know, I would say the best thing that we all can do across the board is protest with our money. Seriously, that's the best thing that we can do. I honestly feel like the time for mindless shopping is done. It's over. And what I mean by that is we have to be aware of where we're placing our money. You know, what do they stand for? Who are they in support of? Are they in support of you? Meaning people that look like you. You know, they don't necessarily have to come right out and say, yes, I'm down with the Black Lives Matter movement. But we at least need to be aware of who we're giving our business to. So what I would say is, and I also plan to do this myself, is, you know, the research is out, everything is out there. If, you know, if we just take the time to look for it, as far as Black businesses and things like that, that we can intentionally support, because then we know where our money is going. But not just Black owned businesses, but businesses that we know believe in fairness, that believe in racial equality. We need to be aware of that. And like I said, it's really time for intentional shopping. And that's what I'm going to call it. You know, we have to be very aware of where our dollars are being spent. And that can at least, you know, have somewhat of an effect economically on what is going on right now. Because the Black dollar is worth a lot, and we really need to be aware of that. I chose to do a video like this because I felt that it was important, and it was something that meant something for me. My video broke away while I was talking about Rayshard Brooks. Yeah, that's my fault. I gotta learn how to delete footage off my camera before I decide to make new videos. But I just wanted to finish my point. And that is, I know a lot of people have opinions about Rayshard Brooks and what they feel he should have could have done in that moment. And what I was saying was that we need to not do that right now. In particular, Black people. We don't need to do that right now. Let's just be a united front and show some solidarity about the fact that a man shouldn't be dead based on such a minor situation that could have been easily avoided if police would just serve the community rather than terrorize the community. Um, you know, Listen, I've never been a cop and I don't plan to become one. But what I do know is that if someone is clearly intoxicated and unable to drive themselves home, wouldn't one of the first questions be, what can we do to help you in this situation so you can get home safely? Is there someone we can call for you? Is there somewhere we can drop you? We'll make sure your car is safe. You get what I'm saying? But to put handcuffs on him or attempt to put handcuffs on him like he's a criminal, like he did something wrong, when at the end of the day, the main reason you were called there was to help assist this man, well, to one, wake him up, get him out of he fell asleep in the drive-through area, wake him up, and then once you find out what the issue is, assist him. That's the problem. What happened to just basic service? Basic service. Police are supposed to protect and serve. And unfortunately, too many times than not, they're not doing either. So yeah, this ain't the time. The man is dead. So whether you feel like he should have just kept quiet, he should have just let them handcuff him, well, maybe not. But the man shouldn't be dead. And it could have played out in so many other ways if they would have just taken the time to treat him the way they would have wanted to be treated in that same situation. I know there were times where I drank a little bit too much and couldn't drive home. Any one of us can fall asleep in the car, either on purpose or not. And all he needed was just a little assistance. That's it. Not to be handcuffed, not to be treated like a criminal. Just a little assistance to get home. That's that. So I just kind of wanted to finish my point. Like I said, my video cut off on me. And yeah, but Black people, let's do better. This is the time for us to be united on these issues, and not to throw in, let's leave that to the Candace Owens of the world, because trust, she tearing the man down. If she doing, and I haven't been to her Twitter page or nothing, like I can't take it. Like I said, I was on her Twitter page last week just doing research on her. I just wanted to know who the hell she was. But if I've learned anything about that woman, the way that she tore down George Floyd and took it upon herself to dig into that man's past and dredge it all up for what? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that she's talking a whole lot of shit about Rayshard Brooks too. So we don't need to add to that, right? Like, yo, let Candace Owens do that. Let all the Candace Owens of the world tear somebody apart and they dead. And talk about what they could have did, should have did, would have did, they had it coming, or whatever the case might be. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I want to end this video on a positive note and just thank everyone who took the time to wish me a happy birthday, whether it was through DM, through text, phone calls, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Thank you so much. I really felt the love, and it meant a lot to me, seriously, that people took the time to just wish me a little birthday shout out. I seriously appreciate that, and I love you guys, seriously. And yeah, that's that. So like I said, I just wanted to end this on an upbeat, positive note, and hey, Black girls rock. I'll see y'all next time, alright?